Good morning, Scorpios. Let's see what your past life wants you to know for July 26th to August 7th, 2018. Last week, you tapped into your communal living. You found out and rediscovered and we love that you are indeed the alchemist of civilization, and you have taught us many things on how to survive in this world in a nap. So let's see what your past life wants you to rediscover about yourself or re-love about yourself. God, Gaia, God, Goddess, Mother. Ooh, you already knew. Okay. What action will Scorpios take from July 26th to August 7th? What action will Scorpio take from July 26th to August 7th? Okay. I see, Mr. and Miss Scorpios. You already know what you are going to be doing. So let's see. Woo, let's see. I'm so excited. Okay. What your past life wants you to rediscover and re-love about yourself? Mr. and Miss Scorpios, you are, wow, the High Priestess. Mr. and Miss Scorpios, you are the High Priestess. You're about to embark on your spiritual side of yourself. I feel you already know that, but this week coming up, you're going to really start tapping into that and practicing it more. You're going to understand that the alchemy in you was leading you to rediscover and re-love that you are indeed the High Priest and High Priestess of this world. It is in your family bloodline. It's in you. You hold the key, Mr. and Miss Scorpios, like I constantly say, the Akashic records of the human being, and the dead. You hold the Akashic records of every elemental creature and dimensions on this planet and around this planet. You hold the Akashic records of the soul, even of the source. You hold the information of what source knows and what goddess knows. You hold the Akashic records of the angels. You hold the Akashic records of below, of Satan, of Lucifer. You are the Pharaoh. This is what I was explaining to Tauruses last week. We are your opposite sign, Mr. and Miss Scorpios. We had to learn how to trust our intuition because you are a part of us. I had to learn that at a young age, that my intuition was strong, not just from my thought, but I learned it from my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother family line stems from Santeria. I wouldn't be surprised that if I start to, and I have to do that, I have to do what you're doing right now and rediscovering about where that comes through in the bloodline. Maybe that's it. Your quest this week from July 26th to August 7th, 2018 is to not only practice the High Priest and High Priestess of yourself, but to also to make you feel more at peace in your calling, because this is your calling. This is a part of your gifts. Talk to family members that you feel comfortable talking about. I feel that you always had people that you talk to spiritually in your family, and it could be cousins, aunts, grandma, uncles, aunties, stepmom, stepfather, mother, father, anyone that you consider family that is in touch with their spiritual side, right? Ask them. Especially first start with the family, because they'll tell you quickly that you have people in your family that are affiliated with the High Priest and High Priestess. They might tell you you have bloodline in Yoruba. You might have bloodlines with the Oshun practice. You might have bloodlines when it comes to inner and outer alchemy. Because the High Priestess and Priest governs all of those things. It just depends, like I say so many times, the degree and level on which you want to delve into. So let's read what Doreen Virtue says about High Priest and High Priestess. Wow, I'm so happy, guys. That meant that you definitely tapped into your inner alchemy. You definitely tapped into that. I'm so proud of you guys. High Priestess, you probably already know, Mr. and Miss Scorpio, that you were a high priest or a high priestess during one or more prior lifetimes. I felt that. It's in your DNA. It's most likely in your family tree. Most people have held these roles, have a conscious sense of it. You also retain your heightened spiritual knowledge, which this card is urging you to put into greater practice. Because when you do that, Mr. and Miss Scorpios, it will bring you that abundance that you're looking for. It will bring you that spiritual abundance. It will bring you mental abundance. It will bring you emotional abundance. It will bring you spiritual abundance. It will bring you financial abundance. When you bring out who you truly are more, that's when we get more. Have you noticed that? That's so funny how that happens. But it keeps us in line, don't it? It's time for you to reignite your spiritual power and use it in service of your divine mission of healing, teaching, and helping the world. This card urges you to release any insecurities you may have about your spiritual abilities or any fears about others knowing your beliefs. That's why I said, go to people you feel comfortable besides your family. You have 2 things to do this week. And 4 extra days, I believe. 2. And you see how this is going to be funny because the second house governs where High Priestess resides in. You are a part of the High Priestess. You go to the second house as well. And you go above your own house. You can even go past your zodiac and even tap into Capricorn, 10, Aquarius, Pisces, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. You could tap into, and even Sagittarius. That's what I was missing. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. You could tap into the next 4. And you could tap into zodiac below you as well. But this week, definitely talk to family members that you can trust. Okay, Mr. and Miss Scorpios? Because y'all very secretive. And y'all don't just trust anybody, which I get because I'm your opposite sign, Taurus, and we the same way. So how I started was I talked to friends and family members that know about me spiritually, but they don't know that part. So when I actually brought it up as a conversation, like, oh, you know, when we be conversating, you be saying that I be having that Magi or Jedi Madric. Well, I found out that I was using a high priest or high priestess of myself. And then they will start to ask you, what does that mean? And it's pretty much saying, oh, you know, when you talk, I could pretty much see a movie of what you're trying to say and what your past life has done for you to make that statement in the now. Or even in dreams. Maybe you're good at dream interpretations. Maybe you're great at counseling. You're good at hearing people, and you are a human lie detector. Besides Geminis, and that's exactly where Geminis come to your house as well. They go to the underworld. This is how you know these information as well. Speak to family that you feel know you a little bit spiritually, but you can ask some questions of the family tree. Like, is there any other family members that are spiritual like me? And you'll find out that they are, and what kind of spiritual way they were doing it. I found out some of my family members were clergymen. Some were high priestess, like I was saying, my grandmother, Santeria. My great-grandfather was a pastor. So I have family tree that tapped into their spiritual side. You have that too. So ask family that you trust and friends that you talk to on a neutral basis, or friends that you connect to. Ask them, How do you see me as a spiritual person? Do you see me as a magi? Do you see me as a high priestess? Do you see me as a guru? These three names, magi gives you back to Christ, going to the North Star, guided by the North Star. That's a magi. Magician, that's a part of Gemini and communication. Guru, high priestess. Ask your friends, out of all the four, what do they see you as and why? That way it can give you the confidence and eliminate the fear to move forward. So what actions will you take from July 26th to August 7th? Look at there. Look at there. You got the earth on your side. Yes. Let's stop. You are the queen of earth. No, I know, not Whitney. Queen of the night. You're the queen of the earth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Spread the bounty. Yes. All right. So not only are you the queen of the earth or the queen of the night, because when you look at this picture, you think of nighttime, right? You're both the queen of the night and the queen of the earth. The opposite side of you is Taurus. Tap into that thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible side of yourself. This can help you when it comes to asking those important questions that you really want to know about yourself. When you do that, again, bounty will come to you. Everything that you ask for in the palm of your hand will come to you. Because people really want to let you know who you are. But you have to be thoughtful how you want to take that approach. Because you're so quiet and so secretive into yourself, because you're always in meditating state, break out of that. Be thoughtful. Be creative. I mean, you have a wicked sense of humor. Even if you got to start off with a wicked sense of humor to like bring you out of that, then do that. When you do that, when you bring out that playful side of yourself, when you start to ask your family and friends questions and ask them like, what is their spiritual side like? How do they view themselves spiritually? And that way you could test it. Like, if you are afraid to directly ask them, you could say, hey, I want to play a game with you where we could figure out what kind of creative person are you? Are you a muse? Are you a leader? Are you a warrior? Are you a king or queen? And the way you can do this is by making a game like, oh, what characteristics do you see me in? It's like you're making your own board game, if you will. When you do that, when you find a creative way to ask these questions, start to make time for those around you when you do that. Don't just come into your life, ask them and leave. No, stay for an hour. Stay on, stay for 2 hours, stay for 3. When you chilling, when you vibing with somebody, you'll start to feel neutral on bringing out that side of yourself. Take a sensible approach. Deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. When you do that, when you start to understand others, because you're very intuitive, rather than get judgmental quickly, which is not in your nature, find ways, creative and thoughtful ways to break the ice. Because whether you notice or not, people feel sometimes intimidated by you because you do know what they really want to say, even when they don't want to say it. Even though they're still speaking, they might not be saying what they really want to say. So find a thoughtful and creative approach, like a board game, or I declare war, or spirit game. Like an animal totem. Like, what animal would you be and why? Because animals will also tell you what kind of spiritual person they are as well. Okay? So till we meet again, tap into that high priest and high priestess of yourself, because it wants to let you know you are truly important. Till we meet again, I love you. And we will see you on the other side.